Welcome everyone. Thank you. Thank you for tapping in. If you're just tapping in, please hit the like button, also share. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It helps in the platform. For all my loyal subscribers, thank you so much for your support, your kind words. It's greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Uh, we on part 17, folks. We here. We making headway. We getting through this. I know I'm getting through it. We waiting for sentencing. You know, I'm kind of in between time. I'm kind of, I'm doing a lot of working out because clear my mind. Working out helps to keep your mind away from things that can disturb your mind and cause an imbalance in your mind. So the thing with working out is when you work out, really work out. I'm not talking about just playing around. I'm talking about really working out where you wore out. It kind of fatigues the mind, uh, kind of puts the mind at ease, takes the mind away from things that can disturb you. So, for all of us that's been in prison, you understand what I'm saying. So my sentencing comes up, and I'm there sentencing now. And once again, my mother shows up, obviously, and they went through. Well, let me not skip this part. Before sentencing, they always probation department always comes to see you, kind of does like a questionnaire, your history of your life and childhood and things of that nature, educational background, employment background, to gauge what sentence they believe, what range of sentence you should get, based on the information that's provided and that's verified. Because whatever information you give them, you need to know that they're gonna go to try to verify this information. So you could lie and you could play games. That's on you. But they're gonna go and try to verify this information. So they use all of this as a means to try to figure out what sentencing range will we recommend to the judge. Okay, this guy, he doesn't have much of a criminal record. It just seems like, he stirred off course a little bit, made a little mistake. We recommend blah, 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 blah to blah, 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 blah. Get the point? Wow, this guy here, woo, look at this here. He been rocking and rolling all his life. I don't think he been getting the message, so I think we're gonna recommend something that's gonna get him to see the message. So we're gonna recommend two. See how high my hand went? Get the point, right? So yeah, so that's what they do. They go through that procedure to figure out what a sentence recommendation they would give to the judge. Now, it doesn't mean that the judge will go with the exact recommendation that they have. It just means that the judge will read it, review it, and maybe consider it. He has the ultimate decision on what it is, what sentence he wants to impose. One of the beauties, I know this may sound so, crazy. One of the beauties in me catching my case at the time I caught my case is because the sentencing guidelines were advisory, meaning that the judge doesn't have to give you the sentence that the guidelines says. He can go outside of those guidelines and sentence you to whatever he deems fit. He just has to give an explanation on why he gave the sentence he gave. So let me clear it up a little better. Prior to 2005, the the federal sentencing guidelines were mandatory, right? Meaning that if your guidelines were, just going to shoot a number out there, 57 to 72 months. That's just a number I'm throwing out there, right? That means prior to 2005, that will mean that the judge has to go by that guideline range, 57 to 72 months, meaning that the minimum amount of time, the least amount of time that he can give you will be 57 months. The maximum amount of time that he can give you will be 72 months. If he gives you something over 72 months, he has to have a reason and an explanation of why he gave you that sentence. And, those things happen because of sentencing enhancements, and what that means is that your sentence, whatever range you're facing, it gets enhanced by other charges you may have had or other counts on your indictment that you may have had. One particular one would be a 924C. That's possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, either in furtherance of drug trafficking or a violent offense. So we'll get into the 924C thing at a later date, but we're just dealing with this right now. So that was it. There is no gray areas with that. Now, once this case of United States of America versus Booker came out, went to the Supreme Court, it now made the guidelines advisory. So that 57 to 72 months is advisory. The judge can give you 12 months, which is under the 57 if he wanted. Obviously, he got to explain why. Or he can give you that 72 or above, or he could give you something in the middle. He can give you a sentence outside of that 57 to 72 months. He can give you, 87 months. He just has to explain why he went that way with the sentence. So fortunately for me, my guideline range was 262 months to 327 months. Put it in the comment section and let me know how many years that is. I don't care to do that right now. I don't want to deal with any more pain, family. So I'm going to leave that up to you to put it in the comment section and let me know how many years that is. 262 months. And how many years is 327 months? So that was my guideline range. We had the sentencing. The judge is reviewing the pre-sentence investigation report. That's the report that the probation department gave. And, based on my criminal record, he gave me 240 months. You can put in the comment section how many years that is. Let me help you and just give you a hint. 60 months is 5 years. Now you do the rest of the math. So I was given 240 months, and I was taken back to Lehigh County Prison, awaiting what's called designation, meaning that I'm sentenced now. Now my paperwork goes up to Grand Prairie, which is in Texas. And based on my criminal history, my current offense, and, mental history and things like that, they determine what security level I go to. So I stayed in Lehigh County Prison for maybe 3 days, I believe. I believe it was 3 days. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Maybe in 2, but I think it was 3 days. And I was taken to another county jail in Virginia. The name of the jail was named Warsaw, Virginia. If anybody ever heard of that prison or was in that prison, I hope you wasn't, but if you were, please put it in the comment section what that prison is about. And I'm just gonna say this: I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone when I was when I was in that prison. That prison was, one of the worst. They don't give you provide you with any underwear, t-shirts, any of that things when you come in. You have to purchase all of that on your commissary. The phone calls, your family have to call this 1-800 number and kind of set up some type of prepaid service where they can put money on there for you to call. My sister, I believe she put $100 on the phone, and I think I only got about 4, maybe 5 calls for $100. Think about that. 4 or 5 calls for $100. The commissary was super, super high. You know those ramen noodles that come in a square package? Those is roughly about 15, 20 cents in the community, I believe, give or take. In there, they were, I believe, between 90 cents and $1.05, if I'm remembering correctly. This is a while ago. So I'm just giving you a hint. Candy bars were $2 and change, and you know, you didn't have no cellmate. You was in the cell by yourself. The showers didn't have cold water to it, so you were taking pretty much a steaming hot shower, maybe 90 something degrees, you know, where you gotta kind of jump and jump back out. So that kind of stuff. Nothing to do really. You know, the TV didn't have any cable, so we were just watching like you know, old shows, Foxy Brown movies, not the rapper Foxy Brown, no, the old head Foxy Brown. Watching those movies, and you know, with hardly nothing to do. You know, my sister was ordering me books to, you know, kind of keep my mind moving and things like that, and it just was one of the worst prisons, you know, I've been in. You know, and every night I'm just hoping that they designate me and get me to whatever prison I have to go to. So I would stay up. I would wake up in the middle of the night almost every night, you know, waiting to listen for the gates. And I hear some gates open, you know, and I know that guys are leaving. They done got designated, and mine just would not open. I don't know if it was broke. I don't know what happened, but it just wouldn't open. And so I was dealing with that for almost a month. I was in that jail for almost a month. And, you know, one night, I said, well, man, this got to be the week right here. And it opened up in the middle of the night. And it was time for me to go. I met a lot of good men in there, exchanged phone numbers. Shout out to my man from Baltimore, man. I met a lot of good men from Baltimore, good men from Virginia, good men from Philadelphia. You know, shout out to Philadelphia. And so came and got me, and I'm starting my journey. So we're going to end this part right here, part 17, and we'll kick off the next part into exactly the process of how they transport you to the different to get to your destination in the federal system. So thank you, family, so much for listening. Please hit the like button, also share. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And please always remember that your potential for greatness is unlimited.